Good morning and warm welcome. Good morning to ID Kanpur. Seems to be working, but is it better now? Okay, I'll speak like this. I'll repeat myself. A warm welcome on a cold morning to ID Kanpur. My name is Manindra Agrawal. I am the Secretary of Alumni Association here. My apologies for starting a little late. I just arrived from Bhubaneswar. There was a fog in the morning, so my flight got delayed. And we have Professor Manna, our director, also with me. So let's just start the event, and I'll request all the names to come on the dais, please. Okay, let's start the event with the traditional lighting of the lamp ceremony. We'll have very brief speeches. First, I'll invite the Director, Professor Manna, to address.
So, very good morning to all of you. Welcome to your alma mater. I'm glad I'm told about Ashutosh only about 35, 40 or 50. So half century, it's a good number. Actually to 45, we supplied 3 from within the campus. Of course, one of them actually is now on GN, but good to see you all here. And probably it's the first time I'm meeting with most of you. I don't know whether we had a chance to interact earlier. I think by now you'd have 35 years since your graduation is quite a long time, and most of you probably are already at the peak of your career and have contributed in various spheres. I don't know how many of you are very much into technology domains, but with the recent, the batches who have graduated in the recent past, majority of them are not in technology areas anymore. But those who graduated 25 years or even earlier, the trend was different, so I expect quite a large number of you probably are still very much pursuing engineering and technology. You would have noticed certain changes in the campus compared to the time that you were here as student. Few numbers that we throw here. We are now 6,500, slightly over 6,500 students. So compared to your time, undergraduate intake now is 4 times higher, 827 per year. The postgraduate population is actually more than 50%. So roughly about 3,500 postgraduates in the campus. We awarded in the last 3 years 120, 130, and last year 152 PhDs. So if these numbers, and in addition to that, I must also mention The faculty strength in the campus in the institute now is over 400. In the last 1 or 2 years, we have added almost like 100 new faculty. So 4 years ago when I joined, the faculty strength was 320 around, and thanks to a very active role played by the Dean Faculty Affairs, who is now Secretary Alumni Affairs, Alumni Association, Mr. Mahendra Agrawal, we added more than 100, just about 100, a little over 100 faculty in the last couple of years. So on all those aspects, we are doing certainly okay. But there are a few concerns that I would like to share with you. You know, the brand name IIT is primarily because of 3 reasons: the quality of education in engineering and technology, the quality of research conducted and published through peer mechanism, and the quality of products, the alumni that the IIT systems have created in the past 50 years. We are 57 years old by now. Now these are well-established facts, and we are so oversubscribed, the IIT system, that we never felt the need to look beyond, and we were happy doing what exactly we were created for. I went into the Act, the IIT Act 1961. It doesn't spell out and say that you have to do this or do that. It simply says that you have to create the best possible education system and produce good engineers for the country. But having done that, now we are into a situation where the government and the people of the country increasingly expects and demands that IITs become much more relevant to the society than what it used to be earlier. What it means is that as technology institutions, can we compare ourselves to the contributions made by the likes of Stanford and MIT and the University of California systems, who have produced a large number of new possibilities, technologies which have created jobs, opportunities, and wealth to the nation. Some time ago, there was an article which portrayed IIT system as the 4th most prominent set of institutions, the 5 older IITs, who have created a number of new opportunities, including jobs and technologies. So that certainly should make us feel even more proud. But if you go a little deeper into this fact, you realize that a vast majority of these opportunities and contributions were made offshore, not onshore. The companies, the jobs, the technologies that we are talking about, which certainly we have reasons to be proud of, were made because they were made by the IIT alumni, but they were mostly in US, and that too primarily in the West Coast. So time has come when we should try and replicate similar success story within the country. So what I'm trying to hint at is a situation whereby IIT system would actually not only be proud by saying that my alumni are doing this or are departing such positions elsewhere, but we'd also be able to say that we took lead in cleaning Ganga. We provided economical toilet and sewer systems to the whole country, which has done almost a silent revolution. We have created certain solutions because of which the tanneries don't have to be closed down, or many other such examples. By the way, I must share with you that in IIT Kanpur, in the last few years, we took a special initiative to identify areas where we have strength, where we actually can provide such complete system solutions. And in that respect, we identified a few areas. One of them happens to be the unmanned aerial systems. And one of your batchmates, I don't see him here. Is he around? Or? He's missing? Okay. So A.K. Ghosh is leading the pack in our efforts to develop unmanned aerial systems. And you have reasons to feel happy that one of your batchmates is not only leading in that respect, but he's also doing very phenomenal, very important work for the defense sector in terms of missile technology development. The reason why actually I thought I would mention is that we are aware that IIT system should now do the next step, and that next step is translation. Translation of knowledge into viable technology, which basically is not just a demonstration, not a patent, not a publication, not even just a demonstration, but actually a technology which is selling in the market. In my own simple way, I always emphasize that if science is know why and engineering is know how, then technology is know what sells in the market. And that's the last mile that we always aim to as engineers, and that certainly would give us the greatest satisfaction. I'll be failing in my duty to cheer you up also if I don't take the name of Ashutosh Sharma, who is one of the very colleagues of ours who has actually sold technology. So this is something which actually should come in multiple numbers, not just sporadic 1 and 2. So before I actually conclude, I would now like to pitch in the most important point, that all of you have done well in your life, and all of you actually are the biggest trophies that the Institute can show, cite, and be proud of. But having reached the pinnacle of your career, can you not think of giving something back to the IIT system, not necessarily a donation to the alumni fund, but helping us reach the next level by using your influence, by giving your ideas, by providing us certain guidance, so that IIT Kanpur can actually very proudly claim that we have created certain new possibilities for the country. There are many initiatives, many projects which are being pursued by IIT Kanpur, and Ashutosh is very much aware of one of such initiative called Impacting Research, Innovation, and Technology. In brief imprint, I would just like to share my little bit of frustration with that. We led this initiative. We formulated for a year long. We worked very hard to bring it to a shape and got the highest political leadership of the country, the Prime Minister and President, together to launch it from Rashtrapati Bhavan. The total project cost is only about 600 crore. MHRD committed to fund 50% of that project cost. 2,612 proposals were submitted from 200 institutions. Like never before, it's only for the first time the entire country, all major institutions, and beyond IIT system, it's for the first time all 16 IITs and IISc came together to steer this project. And having worked for almost 1 year to review the projects, 2,612 projects, in 3 different stages through peer review mechanism, involving 450 odd professors and technologists of the country. Finally, when we went to the ministry and produced this ambition of supporting of 259 proposals, we could master the funding only for 60 so far. The remaining 199 still require funding from partner ministries. You know, the intention is good. There is enthusiasm, there is awareness, but to be able to translate the good thoughts into action and show products and earn the respect and confidence of the society, we actually need something beyond just the noble thoughts. We actually need to fund projects. And if you look at IIT Kanpur today, one more thing you must all realize, that this is a 57-year-old institution. When we started with 100 or 200 faculty members and about a similar number of students, every year, the whole campus looked, we are as if we are flushed with areas and infrastructure and things were not only adequate, more than adequate. 57 years down the line, today we are saturated to the extent that if tomorrow 10 more faculty arrive in the campus, we don't have office rooms to be provided to them. So this infrastructure augmentation is a very, very major bottleneck. And I just drew the simile from, drew the example from imprint, just to impress upon the fact that without proper funding, despite the best intention, we may not be able to realize what we can deliver and what the country, more than anyone else, actually deserves from us. So it is now, I would like to appeal to your goodwill and your own influences or advices that you can offer to us so that we actually can address some of the major challenges that we are facing. So let me conclude by saying that we are extremely happy and grateful that all of you managed to come here, and I already said that 3 of your batchmates are very active members of the faculty here. For a while, of course, Ashutosh is on leave. So we do maintain contacts, we can maintain contacts with you through them, but let's think beyond and let's think something which actually will translate into some possibility which will make all of us even more proud in the future. So thank you very much for coming here, and wish you all a very happy new year and a great stay here so that you would be willing to come back again and help us in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. I now invite Professor Pani, Dean of Resources and Alumni, to share his thoughts.
Thank you and a warm welcome. I am somewhat new in this ecosystem. I joined about 11 years back, and I am also new to the engineering ecosystem because I come from the management background, and essentially I teach finance at my department in industrial management engineering, and I am more involved in the innovation ecosystem at IIT Kanpur. Last 10 years we built up a big ecosystem. Of course, the precursor was one of your batchmates who initially helped us, started it off and made it run. Professor Rajiv Shekhar, who actually gave us a good start, and then we continued with that and we created a big ecosystem on that front in terms of where I work, essentially. Of course, there are a lot of things which have been created. Taking this thing, what Professor Manna is also saying in terms of how we can help and what the batch had done, and some relevant stats from my side also. Yeah, I'm getting hammered with stats today. Your batch essentially has equivalent amount of academics and industrialists. This is one batch. The last batch which I was talking to, they had more academics and less from the industries. Your batch, I think the directors run the academicians, faculty members, researchers, but they are equal in number and substantially large. And of course you have CEOs, owners of companies and all. And then many of you went on, some of your batchmates brought a lot of recognition to the institute through the awards. I think one of your batchmates also has a Bhatnagar Award, one is in Infosys, won the Infosys Prize for Engineering and Sciences, a couple of them are in class, National Academy of Sciences, Indian Academy of Sciences, and also most other industrial awards which you have. So that way your batch actually contributed a lot to the reputation of IIT Kanpur over the years. It's not that batch, and it significantly helps us in a lot of ways. This is one thing we need to see and acknowledge. And the second part of the your relationship with IIT Kanpur and what we have been trying to do at the alumni office, you do know that we have now a Dean of Resources and Alumni instead of the Dean of Resource Planning and Generation. So alumni is a significant part of our office. And we continuously try to engage with them on a regular basis. I don't know how many of you have received birthday greetings from our side. Anybody who received birthday greetings from the director side? Anyone?
Only one.
Only one?
Email, right?
Yeah, or email?
Email.
Yes, how many of you have received? Yeah, then the rest of the emails we have to make for the database, okay? And then we do send news through, we revamped our newsletter and we really made an effort with that, and we continuously, because I always keep telling Professor Manna that we're doing a lot, so if you guys don't raise your hand, that means you're not doing enough. It's a test of what we are achieving. That's why I asked this question. Okay? And we do connect through newsletters. We recreated the whole newsletter, this thing, and then we really started communicating on a regular basis with our alumni, trying to see where they are, trying to give them whatever they need in terms of network strength. The younger guys definitely need the network strength of the older batches so that they can move further in the career. And that way, we are in a way serving the purpose of what we also want to achieve and make this ecosystem grow and become the best in the world. We want to be like what he has created, that we want to make it in the innovation ecosystem. We want to call ourselves the Stanford of the East. And believe me, it is going to be the Stanford of the East in terms of the innovation ecosystem space which we are working on. Like that, in the aero, defense, every area we try to leverage our resources, our network strength, and take it forward. And essentially for everything you need the lubrication, you need money. Essentially it always comes down to money. Intentions, everything comes down to finally somebody somewhere happy to support us. No, on the money front, the government's view, or in essence the concern and view is that you have been 60 years old already and you have so many of your kids or elders already in the system. And somewhere you need to see that it becomes self-sustainable at some point in time. To essentially say that we can move the resources to other fledgling IITs or technology universities. So to this extent, what they say is, okay, we provided you with a lot of opportunities. So if you are saying that your alumni cannot give money, fine, let them not give money. Let them ask their corporate to give research projects for which you get a 200% tax benefit, which the corporate by themselves spending will not get. If they outsource that research fund, they get 200% tax benefit. And many of your corporates are also, if you are in the industry, are also in the mandatory CSR compliance, corporate social responsibility compliance. Just connect us to your CSR officer with a good word and we'll see that how to get the money out of the company for our purposes. So the CSR mandate is very big. I mean, you can really, other than that, you also have personal income tax benefits which are given, corporate income tax benefits which are given. So all these put together, actually, the government had created an ecosystem over the last few years wherein we could actually go out and say, if you give something to us, you actually benefit. Now, individually, we may not be able to give it from your own pocket, but that does not mean that you can motivate other people for whom it is mandatory or other companies to actually look at IIT and provide the same to us. So this is where we need your strength. And in terms of, let me also put something in perspective, okay? I mean, this is something which many people think that, alumni has contributed significantly in terms of money. I am not saying that it is not significant, but given the overall strength of the alumni of 32,000 alumni whom we have today, the total contribution in the last 20 years when we started going out to them would be, you can have your own guesses, I am not asking you, but it's about 60.2 crores or 66.2 crores in 20 years. That's on an average of 3 crore a year, okay?
Very sad.
Very sad, yes. Now, the saddest part in this is that out of that 66.2 crores, 35 crores came from 3 individuals. So that means 31,997 people actually contributed only 30 crores in 20 years. That translates into less than $10 a month for the US guys and less than 500 rupees, say, $10 a year for the US alumnus and less than 500 rupees for the Indian alumnus. And where does our batch stand? We are very grateful whatever you have done to date. This particular batch actually contributed 45 lakhs. And I would definitely motivate you at this stage to make it at least 100 lakhs. At least 100 lakhs from this batch. And this is my job. And I am the official designated beggar with a begging bowl for ID card. You guys want me to come to your office and say, "Aap सामने आके खड़े हो जाइए और भीख मांगे तो मैं मांग ले." So this is our ID for all the alumni. He gave us so much. And today we celebrate our alumni achievements on a daily basis. If you go to my website, you go to my this thing, you see that every day one of us, couple of others achieving something big, which is actually feeding the ecosystem. But the ecosystem cannot be fed if it is hungry. It is not having food. It cannot live on reputation alone. It needs a basic fuel to move it together. And we have to all come together in this and do this together. And any one of you have any idea, just send a mail to me. You will get a 24-hour turnaround in terms of responses, and I will be more than happy to see where we can go with this. With this, I would like to thank you and once again welcome you. I hope you have a great time at IIT Kanpur and enjoy all the facilities which have been created over the last few years. And if possible, ask Professor Raju Shekhar to take you around the innovation ecosystem which he was initially associated with. So he would make it, it's journey worth taking. Thank you very much.
I think since we are talking about hard facts, it's important that we know the reality. Today, by a simple estimate, it shows that for every student in an IIT system, Government of India spends about 6.5 lakhs per month. So the subsidy is actually 4.5 lakhs because they pay, even despite the raise in the fees, is only 2 lakhs per year. So about 1/3 comes back into the system as fees paid, and remaining 2/3 is paid by Government of India, the taxpayers' money. And the amount of fees that we collect, the total amount put together, the cumulative figure amounts to hardly 10% of the total non-plan expenditure that we make. So we earn just about 7 to 10% through the fees. So this is the start really.
Right, let's move on and invite now Saurabh Anand, the batch coordinator, to share his thoughts.
Thank you, Professor. I was not given any advance warning, but as you know from WhatsApp, I can always come up with something. And this is something to which GS won't be able to respond.
Are you sure?
You can post on WhatsApp. So, Professor, it is good to see the development work that has happened here. And I know we have had a conversation about this some years ago, but there were certain other issues which I wanted to bring up. One is, of course, about the PAN IIT, and that has been a matter of concern because 2004 it started out, and I was very happy to assist in the organization of that event. But we later found out that it was a private members association and that they did not submit accounts and so on. It became a very big election issue during the alumnus elections. And it would therefore, I think, be appropriate that the institute should put out a paper on it, that we should all know what the status is of PAN IIT qua the Government of India, qua the IITs, and I believe there is some litigation also that is going on about the name of PAN IIT and what the constitution should be. So it is very worrying that the name IIT is being used without any statutory backing or any requirement for submitting accounts, and because that is a larger organization. It is good that you are funding the institute as a separate entity, But Pan IIT is also seeking to do some of the things that you are seeking to do. And unless the funds that are going there are overseen, I think that it will ultimately do a lot of harm to the IIT brand. And so I would request the institute to put out a white paper which we could send on email to all of us, and then we can see if there is something, and if there is something required to be done legally on that aspect, I would be very happy to assist pro bono. There is no difficulty. But I think as alumni, it is also our right to know what the IIT brand name, if it is being misused. But if everything is fine, then we'll be very happy to learn that. And the other issue which has been discussed, and we discussed, some of us had discussed privately with Professor Dande 10 years ago, and we were very disappointed that he did not take any action on that. But I understand that you have been. There are challenges in relation to the contract labor that is working on the institute premises. But personally, I believe that most of the issues, well, a lot of them have been handled. You have had only 3 years to do that. But of course, I'm not aware as to now what is more recently the status of those workers. But it was very sad to see 10 years ago and the continued neglect even after that to the issues that face them, because we come here and get the best education that the taxpayer can afford, and yet the very people who are creating these facilities don't have the basic human rights that the law mandates they be provided, and yet we are somewhere lax in providing them. So I would request that something, again, perhaps you have taken a lot of initiatives, I am aware. But then perhaps another white paper on that subject could be put out so that if there are, if we are poorly informed about the issue, then we will be correctly informed and those concerns will go away. So that would be my second request. And of course, I do want to acknowledge Rajiv Vishwakarma here, because he brought together this whole batch with his effort on, because we had earlier a Yahoo group, which I don't want to talk about because I don't have good things to say. So as a consequence of what was going on there, we persuaded Rajiv to form one Google group and then WhatsApp groups. And there are many people here who are following us on WhatsApp who could not be here today. And it's been a great forum for all of us to come together again, almost as if we were back in the IIT days. And I don't know if there's any other batch which has such an active WhatsApp group. So it has been wonderful the last 1 year that I have been on the WhatsApp and the Google groups. And for that, I'll thank Rajiv once again. And of course, all our friends, not many of you all are very active on WhatsApp or Google, and I would request you to be a little more active, because we have a lot of stuff to discuss. You know, some of us have stronger views than others, but we should know your views so we can attack them. Thank you very much, and look forward. And I was informed that we can have reunions whenever we wish to have them, and that it is not necessarily every 10, 15 years. So if that is possible, then we might see if we might want to come together again in 5 years.
They may not want you, sir.
No. If it is our option, then there is always a lawyer here.
Yes, I think alumni are always welcome to hold reunions whenever they wish to, as long as we find space in the guest house period of time. And regarding 2 points that Saurabh mentioned, since I am involved in one of them, which is the Pan IIT thing, I just want to share 2 sentences. There have been serious problems with the functioning of Pan IIT, as he pointed out, and the new Alumni Association Board is working on trying to understand them and try to resolve them. And if hopefully they will get resolved. And if they don't get resolved, then probably the time will come when we have to disassociate ourselves with that entity. So we'll see how the situation develops. We are working on it. And as for the contract worker, I think I haven't seen a mail from Ashok Gupta in last 1 year about plight of contract workers on campus. So I guess we must.
It is sorted out.
So I guess it must be sorted out.
Thanks
And
to the
Saurav had
help
helped a lot there.
Saurav, now every single contractor is obliged to furnish details about the payment of ESI and the PF. So we don't deal with contractors directly. As an institution, we are advised not to directly engage with them, but through the contractors we make sure that all the payments are done routinely on time. And I still keep getting certain complaints, and those are separate complaints, I mean isolated complaints. And we have a redressal mechanism, so we have a labor cell who look into that.
All right, so let's move on, and time for the next step, the felicitation of all the alumni and their family who are. Oh, sorry. Jump the gun. Okay.
Actually, you should have gone ahead. Yeah. I wish Rajiv Shekhar had told me about this. I could have taken a shower, worn a jacket, you know. So, but this has been the happiest few days of my life at IIT Kanpur, even better than the 5 years I've spent before. No exams, no assignments, no quizzes, no surprise quizzes. And I even managed to sleep in L7 while Ashutosh was giving a lecture. So that reminded me of the old times. So I'm really glad to be here with 50 of my best friends and hope to have a reunion every 2 years. We are planning to go somewhere with more people. Hopefully 100 next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ravi. Now I now invite Professor Manna and Professor Mani to come down. And the two batch coordinators to call out the names of batchmates. One by one, they should step down here to be felicitated with their families. 007. If you are with your family, please, I request the families to also join.
Yeah, those who are accompanied by the spouses, they should also.
No, 1, 2.
क्या है?
Everything is there. Okay, cool.
The money also spell out the name,
Yeah.
at least for my sake.
018. Amod Kumar Agarwal.
Alphabetical with the first name.
इसके बाद तुम्हारा होना चाहिए।
Okay, so let me call the next one already. 029 Anupam Kumar Garg. Alright, next one be ready. 032. I will announce the name later. We have Arun Modi and family.
Yeah.
Zero 037. 037. Arvind Kumar Goyal. 044 77044 Ashutosh Sharma.
Ashutosh, let's give the 8 1 off.
058 Hemant Sridhar Vetravel. 067 Prithviraj.
इसलिए मैंने प्रपोज की
083 Devendra Kumar Jha.
Raji.
084 Dhananjay Binge.
Yes.
Zero 089 Dilip Chatwani. 086. Oh, I missed that. 086. I missed that. Dharmashi.
Dharamshil. Give it defense paper.
Zero 90 Dilip Jain.
बस नहीं हो जाएगा the band
097 Srinivas Karimala. 107 Jacob Kerry.
Jacob.
Kudavur Girish Padhyay.
Girish, this trek is not very tiring, is it? You missed it?
123 Kapil Dev Prasad Gupta.
क्या बात है?
One two seven Khushro Patel. 77129. Shruti Agarwal.
दो बार जाओ
अरे 2 बार जा रहा है वो।
ये बकैती है डबल बकैत है
डबल बकेट।
इसको टॉफी
77134.
ये कोटेशन।
Mamu Keshra. Seven 154. Vivek Nayak.
यस
77172. Jayesh Kumar Pai. Seven 175. Parvinder Singh Aluwali. 77176. Sanjay Chandrakant Patel. 77179. Pradeep Dixit.
सॉर्टिंग ठीक है 232 तुम्हारा 235 बैठे भी हो
77191. Arwan Vadarajan.
कुछ तो गड़बड़ है
77208. Rajiv Ranjan Vishwakarma. Seven 209. 209. Rajiv Shekhar. Seven 210. Rakesh Bhasin.
ये हमारे लेखक हैं
77219. Sadashiv Srinivasova. 77219.
एक जोक हो जाए सब जोक्स
Joke,
जोक एक जोक
Joke number 1.
77232.
यस संगल
Sandeep Sagar.
Rita and I played for intra-IT together.
हाँ what game
83.
oh wow
77234. Sanjay Agarwal.
yes come on Sanjay
'Sanjay's batchmate happens to be, Sanjay's brother happens to be my batchmate. Manoj.
My younger brother is that.
oh
Right.
77235. Sanjay Kumar 2. Seven seven two four zero. Sanjay Shantilal Patel. Seven seven two four eight. Shantanu Bharat.
oh yeah bum
77256. Gaurav Anand Prakash.
Next, please support.
Seven seven two five eight. Sushant Navasa.
he has two of them now
77261.
Double barrel.
Shailesh Anand Lal Shah.
नहीं आया
77277.
Now you take one scarf off.
Subodh Kumar Mathur.
yes good
77279. Subrata Bose.
boss is boss the boss the boss
Boss is the boss.
Seven seven two eight two. Sudhir Goyal.
उसका ट्रेन डिले हो गया.
77285. Sundar Rajan Suresh. Srinivas Gupta.
One day मेरा नाम
77287. Sundar Ramachandra.
he's gone he left
77290.
I can take
Sunil Kumar Gulati.
still in the train.
296. PL Ishwar.
But he came down last very late.
77308. Sesha Venkatachalam.
वेंकी फंडू लेक्चर भी दे दो एक
Seven seven 311. Vijay Suresh Parikh.
One of our more enterprising entrepreneurs.
Yep.
77314, Vikram Handa.
हांडा का फंडा गोल है
Yudhishthir Raina.
डबल डिपिंग
अभी शॉर्ट रजिस्टर
डबल डिपिंग
Two chocolates.
Did I miss anyone? No? Now is the time if I have missed anyone.
किसी का केसी होता तो बोल दो
Alright, so that brings us to an end of this little bit of a formal event. And we will free you up as we go back in time and be as wild as possible. I guess there are some tea and snacks waiting outside, so you can just join us there.
थैंक यू थैंक यू थैंक यू थैंक यू
Please wait 2 minutes. Next.
सब बैक साइड में कुछ संजय अग्रवाल जी बाहर हैं उनको बोलो बैक साइड से 2-3 लोग बाहर हैं
बहुत देर से सांस रोके बैठे हैं सांस रोक के सब लोग पेट अंदर सांस के थके हैं स्माइल कर करके थके हैं
मैंने हमने कहा बैक साइड संजय अग्रवाल जी बाहर है ना उनको बुला लेते
Cheese, chocolate cheese.
जलेबी सब लोग पोटैटो ओके फ्लैश यहाँ से आ रहा है अभी के येलो से आ रहा है
Okay, one of the IITM kids, all the kids.
Oh my God.
ये कॉफी दे रहे हैं
चाय है कि कॉफी है ये?
चाय भी मिलेगा, कॉफी भी मिलेगा।
चाय
चाय मैडम आपको
यहाँ कॉफी
सर वो मैडम शुगर ऐड करना होगा। यस मैडम टी कॉफ़ी चाय कॉफ़ी मिल्क मिल्क मिल्क
Some
You also came from Shillong, I Some people fell for it and went to Bittur also.
I was sitting next to him. Bittur was a disaster.
I heard it was a disaster even 35 years ago.
How many guys actually went to Bittur? I went.
I went
I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why they called it. She was right before my dad.
Yeah, they called my dad. Oh, so they did it.
मैं तेरा एक वो ले कमला लेते हैं
डायरो हमको कुछ दिलाएगा निकाल देगा इंस्टीट्यूट से क्या हुआ यार ये तो पिज्जा था ये तो बड़ा एलैबोरेट थिंग हो गया फॉलो इसे अपना डिस्कशन कंटिन्यू
Make it a bigger circle. One.
cannot be more friend not necessarily this was a different angle
Or what are you could be wrong or I could be wrong. That these
Designed a bike that would actually match it up for you. So like they built a whole solar system for you, which otherwise would be done in the city, which are really bad. It's really bad for so like things like that.
हम लोग खड़े नहीं थे बोलना चाहिए था
अरे
नॉनवेज पिज्जा उधर वो आपने मटन भी बनवा दिया ये सब वेजिटेरियन है दीजिए तो नॉनवेज भी है क्या नॉनवेज चिकन में पड़ा सर चिकन है मटन चिकन निकालो बेटा रोटी चिकन निकाल सकते
ये तो वेज है, नॉन वेज है।
बहुत करना पड़ता है क्या?
Initiatives that they have taken, I think some of them we have are on social initiatives that have been taken by quotation Anupam. Yeah. And Renuka Gulati, Sunil's better half, would be making, she's a very accomplished painter. She would be making a small presentation, and you cannot exceed more than 10 minutes. Okay. And the clock starts. And after that, if anybody wants to share some interesting anecdotes or some interesting life-changing experiences, they are most welcome, but it has to be short.
Bagadia actually had been traveling, so I thought that he was supposed to take
program is 800 daughters in Kanpur, and either today or tomorrow he will be
Right.
So in any case, because I have given only 10 minutes, so I will show faster. In case actually you need more information about things, I have my kits ready, so you can talk to me offline. Right? Hello. So I'll try to keep the whole thing very short. And in case actually you will need more information, I have all the kits ready. So I'll take the things, or you can talk to me offline. So quickly going through that, okay, my basic objective has been to work for the blind people I want to teach them science and maths. That is actually the biggest problem they will be facing. Most of the things what currently blind people normally have is what helps them to work on text mode. Their braille, their kits, their braille slates, everything is more towards text. And that's the biggest problem, because even if they know and they have interest on maths and science, they can't do it. So that's where actually I'm actually coming into picture. So I'll just skip the whole thing quickly. So first thing is that what is actually braille? So quickly going through that, it's a 6-dot thing. And normally 6-dot means it only handles 64 symbols. And you can understand 64 symbols to less with 26 characters and 10 digits, and then 26 uppercase, lowercase, and you know it, everything normally goes by top. So they normally have a concept in which they only provide 26 small letters and 14 punctuation marks, and rest are all mainly the contractions, which normally are shorter characters. So being that okay, mainly focused on textual things. Even a letter like 3A plus 5B is 12C is absolutely difficult. This takes 17 cells to write. There are different type of braille concepts going on. One is called UEB, which is most popular, and it's classic braille. And then there is some derivative which is called mammoth braille, which normally have some modifications to allow maths and the primary ones. But still, way to go. There was a concept of braille notations coming up, which is Unicode has come out with the 8-dot braille, which is normally now you can see that it is 8-dot. But their main focus was to really give that one symbol character notation for 96, 95 ASCII characters only. They never bothered anything about beyond that. No theta, alpha, gamma, delta, nothing on the sort. And even sin square theta plus cos square theta, because square and everything you can't write. S2, SO4 you can't write because there's no superscript subscript. So that's where actually I came into picture. So I said, okay, I've designed a Braille 8, which is a unified Braille Unicode system, which normally maps the complete set of 26 characters. And also actually is just trying to really overlap with the UEB and all those things so that people who are familiar with the normal Braille should not actually feel problematic. This Braille 8 I have already presented at the IEEE conference in Bangalore, and this is under publication. So quickly going that, okay, the Braille normally is a, that's what actually that things are, that I have mapped so many of these things into Braille, and there are different patterns coming up and all those things, and this has been the table actually. Actually I have too many slides. So this is only a very small part. I have extended Braille 8 also to Bharati Braille, in which actually I have converted that all Braille 8 symbols for 10 of Indian languages. So these languages have already been converted. This was not presented to IEEE conference. This is still, I am finalizing it, and most probably I will be presenting shortly. The future work mainly is that, okay, that it has to become a standard, and many more word languages actually has to go into Braille 8. Another thing is that we didn't need to write a converter from computer to Braille and Braille to Braille to Braille, Braille to Braille. Okay, so that's it. Now, so one part was actually Braille itself was the problem. So Braille was limited. People were doing maths and science was not able to really represent everything on Braille. So that was part one. Part two, then actually I have seen that, okay, what other problems they are facing is mainly the Braille slate itself. Now I am coming out to one by one things. Braille slate. So this is the slate. Actually, I have a slate with me in case you won't really see that. The slate is available in which actually that you write a 6 dot. There's a guide available, and then there's a pin type of things available with pin stylus in which you just make depressions. The problem is that when they read it only on embossed things. So what they do is that they write Braille, everything they dots. To read it, they take the whole thing out, flip the whole page, and read it. So you can understand that how they write it is that they write in the mirror image form. Right to left, and whatever the characters are, they write C, they will write the top, they will be on the top, in whatever is in your dot form. So it becomes very complicated for them to really learn things in that way. So Braille itself, the slate itself has become problematic. Now the biggest problem which normally occurs with that is that they can't refer to what they have written earlier. They can't refer to the previous line. If they want to refer a previous line, they will take the whole thing out, flip the whole thing. They see that, okay, what I have written, flip the page back again. Now you can understand how difficult the maths writing becomes. If you have 3a plus 5b is something and you want to put a value to this expression, you need to refer that. Okay, what was the expression before? If you want to really have a typical multiplication, some value multiplied by that, and you have to refer to that, to what actually you have written on the top. If you can't do that, it is difficult. So this is what actually they were finding, that okay, that mathematics was very complicated for them, and algebra was almost impossible. They have this concept of Taylor frame, in which actually they have this type of packs are available in which they just rotate, and packs are available in which they can have the symbols, at least the 16 symbols by which they can do some maths. So what they normally do is that they do all the math calculation on this Taylor frame. Then after that, they write it down on paper. So that becomes complicated, that becomes duplicate work. They say, okay, that in a class of 1 hour, they are able to, while normal people are able to really do 20 questions, they are able to do 2 at the same time. So you can understand the problems which are occurring. So what I did was that I just created a new Braille set, which normally I call as Braille set, which means that what you write is what you read. So this is slate in which actually that I have, this is a patented design. So I just put everything in which actually that there are rather than holes, there are actually embossed on the slate. And my stylus has a something is a depression. This concave tip stylus. That is the way actually this is the whole plate is available. This is a magnetic type of clamp, and then you have different type of guides, which normally are able to do that. The guides are available. You can see that these guides are available in which you can single line while hitting the line you can do that, and whatever you have written, you can always go and refer that what you have actually written while you are writing the rest of the things below. So that is the way actually that one of the things are coming up. The next one which I am taking is a geometry slate. This geometry slate, geometry is another one where you have a problem. What they have got is this, something like this type of stylus in which on the paper they just put a line marking on this. Again a depression, want to read it, they read it flipping the page and they read it. You can understand even a problem like you put two dots and draw the line in between that is impossible for them, because you put the dot goes on the back side, they flip the page, they understand the dot, put the line comes on the other side. So geometry is literally gone. So I have, because of that, I have created another design which is why this is a tactile geometry set. It's again a patent file, and this is again a magnetic based whole thing. This is I have created a complete. This is a 3-tier type of clamp available in which I put everything onto the base layer and then put a paper on the slightly height, and then they put the depressions by which actually they can create the whole geometry. You have this typical elements. This is a point marker, this is a line marker in which actually you can put the line over the point, and through stylus you can create that on a paper impression, by which actually you can create embossed type of a line and everything. You have a circle, then I have a typical tactile scale in which actually all this are embossed things by which the people can feel the distances. They can measure what they have written. And also similarly, this is a protector which is actually available there, in which actually they can draw angles, they can measure angles, and all those things. What I have done is that through this slate, I have constructed all the geometrical constructions on NCERT syllabus class 6 to 10 successfully with that. The future work which I am planning is that I will do the more accessories to start with the optical ray diagrams. I will just try to do something how I can draw the conic sections, parabola, hyperbola, ellipse, that we also leave circles. Basic curves also I want to do that, and then if possible I will try to do that. This is absolutely thing that okay, that's the ultimate thing. I can do the general sketching in which they can draw that whatever they want to draw in embossed form. Another thing is that visual teaching and learning. This is another one which is normally have a problem. A blind person normally, for them two-dimensional has nothing to do. They have nothing on a two-dimensional. Everything which is there on the flat, for them everything is absolutely chicken-up. Nothing is written. Unless there is a third dimension. It has to be written somewhere. So there has to be either 3D models or there has to be embossed type of sheet on which they can really touch and feel that. So the problem is that first thing normally happens is that if the teachers normally have a problem, they can't write anything on the board because they can't see on the board. And so, but in any case for this, actually they have a textbooks, although they have costly textbooks, but everybody is provided textbook and they can read it. The teacher has to just dictate. Read, open the page and do that. And then there are problems with drawing that whole thing. So there are different IT Delhi is doing a lot of work on this, in which actually they are printing all the NCERT papers. And similarly, you have, as I said, okay, you need a chart, you need a 3D embossed chart, and one for each student, because one chart will not do. And then there are 3D models also. The biggest problem with 3D model is that if you have one model, the teacher normally goes them, ask one student, take them along, the person touches it, they tell them, okay, what is to be done, and after that, the other students are just sitting at, they don't understand. Then the second student comes, third student comes, and for 30 students, they have to do it 30 times. So literally one thing they want to do, the whole class for 1 hour or 2 hours is gone just by teaching one model. This is an absolutely inefficient way of doing it. Colors and this problem which they can't do it. So for that actually I have decided that okay, that let's have a model which concept that okay, I have a way which is normally called as sonic labelers, which normally you can put labels, and to sonic you can attach some recording you can put, which normally recorded on. So what I'm saying is that I'm trying to really get all these 3D models and embossed posters, and then put the labels at a suitable place, and ask the teachers to record that, what they want to say. And then it's more like a part lab. Now the posters are available, and ask the students just go and with a labeler in front of that, go touch and just touch that whole thing, touch the whole thing, and read it out, what is actually there. So teacher's voice, they normally can read it out. So teacher's efficiency normally improves. That's what actually also I have one of the things in which I can improve the whole thing. Some of the posters which I feel that okay, we can really convert into this mode are these type of posters. Another final challenge is basically the lab's application setup. We know that okay, they can't understand optics, they can't do anything optics. Chemistry also they have problems because they can't touch and do anything of acids, base and everything. Heat is also a problem. Motion physics is also a problem. So I have actually designed this. So I have actually designed a lot of actually that things into 3D model form, in which they can really learn and do that all this. So why actually doing that? Why actually I am talking to you is that I have actually set up a project which is called Setu Kasai, which is basically in Sanskrit word for Bridge for Development. It is an acronym for same thing. And to promote that, so what I'm planning is that I will set up a STEM lab for blinds to teach this, and each lab will normally contain something like, if we put a lab for 30, we'll have a braille set 30 geometrical set. We have charts, I want 30 charts onto that. I want to put posters and models also. And then we put something around 30 lab kits. That's what actually my vision is, that okay, let's put that. And the cost wise actually is coming out, tentatively I'm thinking of 10,000 rupees, which is something around $150 for per seat. So for a lab of 30 seats, it should be 3 lakhs, 4,500 USD. And for a lab of 40 seats, 4 lakhs should be. In any case, it is a two-part. I'm looking for funding, and maybe I was also thinking that maybe let's do the 3 pilot labs first, and then we'll go for government funding. All and production assistance also, because I have all the things ready and I need some help in production. I think I may skip this because this is my option. So I will just skip this. Okay, so let me just put that. So this is another project which actually I was thinking. So this is my second project which actually I have just started, which is this company. This is education towards quality. So what I'm thinking is that mainly that what I'm finding is that blind people or any other Divyang, which is normally scored, we are focusing and making them forcibly putting into a vocation for which their handicap is a liability. Why? There are always a vocation, we can find a vocation in which their handicap becomes an asset. Why don't we identify those things and then train them or skill them into that, rather than forcibly actually putting them and forcibly giving them some work for which actually they are not suitable, and by through government subsidies and government laws that okay, that you have to hire some of the Divyangs into this, although they are not most productive. So I was just thinking that okay, that if say for a visual, I can say okay, that if something which is in which the visual cues are either not important or they may be a hindrance, I can do that. I was just quite thinking, I was thinking that okay, simply anything related to tasting. Tea tasting, coffee tasting, wine tasting, fragments and flavor testing, coffee aroma testing, because they have other faculties, very dominant faculties. Acoustic testing. Similarly, for hearing impaired, you can go for any industry in which the noise is actually very high, in which actually normal people are not able to work. So we can have industries and steel and hydraulic and metallurgical factors and all this area, or where the concentration is required. But normally all this noise is normally disturbed. So that's what actually I was thinking that, okay, that let's say some of the few people actually who are part of the world, they can understand that, okay, that whether what are those, you can say, the vocations suitable, we will find. This is my, you can say, organization, which is social enterprise, on which actually I am working. And I am working with Gulati, so he has his NGO, which is RC, which is now working together, we are working together on that. And Gulati will actually come and talk something about this thing. I think it's better that we talk first.
Yeah, we have been working on female feticide, and we have got about 5 lakh people to take oaths that they will not conduct female feticide. And whenever a girl is born in Bhiwani, this movie was shot, we worked a lot on protecting the girl child by planting a tree, or ladkiyon ne pe thali bajana, and you know, basically कुआं पूजन जो पहले लड़के होने पे होता था, worshipping a well, keeping the mother's picture in the first, all these things, you know, taking an oath, 5 lakh people have taken oath, so all these things we are doing. Then we have also started working on, you know, under the cleaning program, Swachhta mein, like this is the original thing. In this village, this was the state of affairs, and this Dr. Ramji Jaimal and his team converted from this to this. So we distribute free saplings, flower saplings, and this year we gave 1.5 crore, that's 15 million flowers saplings we were able to distribute to schools, to villages, and lots of people from all around who came and planted the saplings. This is the way the saplings are being weighed, labeled, 24 kinds of saplings we did, and it was very good response which we got. This Dr. Ramji Jaimal and his team is working on this. And then there's one more team which helps in marriages of poor girls. Then we did a program on New Year, rather than going for liquor and all, have a nice party with either Ramlila or Krishnila or things like that. And then we have also, we are working on naturopathy, yoga, and training of caregivers, geriatric caregivers, caregivers for the disabled, caregivers for the drug addicts, and child and palliative caregivers. That's another area we are working. Anupam Garg is working on for Divyang. And these are all the areas where we are working and intend to keep working. That's it. Any questions?
Real artist, how you have to work, I learned over there. Initially, I was just painting haywire here and there, but in 2005, when I entered Triveni under the guidance of Mr. Sanjay Roy over there, and one day he just told me, he told all the students over there to bring one thing with you, which you will sit there and sketch. And since I was working in the morning as a teacher, and in the evening I used to go to Triveni, I just forgot to bring anything with me. And I just came down from the bus and I just took a dry leaf over there. From there I started with the journey with the sketching of leaves. And I started painting. The series came up with title Animal Elements in Space. So this is my first painting which I started over there, and which was and this is the second one in this same series, Element in Space. Here I worked in oil and acrylic both. As you can see, these are huge sizes, 4 by 5 feet size. And slowly I started with moving from leaves to the figures. This painting is titled, "Oh Lord, I am a puppet in your hands." And I had a show in 2007, the first show titled Elements in Space series. And after this is my another series which I started in 2009. This is Unveiling the Truth, the visual saga, where I was working on balancing with the girl child, and balancing in the nature using plum weight as one of my elements. And this is titled Life a Journey. He's sure, I am sure. Titled The Blissful Trust. This is titled Search for Eternity. This is again on Save Me, Save the World on Girl Child. This is my another series describing self. The Visionary, Graceful Strides, Mystical Resonance, this was the whole exhibition about this divine truth, in which everybody got this torso to paint, and there were like 30 to 40 artists, I think. I don't remember exactly now, and we all got a torso to paint with our own style, and I worked on it with the girl child. Save Me, Save the World. This is my another work titled Amazing Grace, Illusions at Rest. It's a mere illusion that woman can be at rest. That's what I feel. Expansion. Feeling the Freedom. This is my another series. The Flight of Thoughts. Cycle of life, where a journey begins with the child and how we grow, and again the journey keep on moving, with the dry leaves going away and new leaves keep coming. The prayer way, in which when people from all the community, they hold their hands together and they pray together, and the prayers are being heard. The prayer way. Kissa Kursika. This happened when Kejriwal just was about to stay near my next door house, and there was a lot of disturbance coming over there to my mind over that time, and I made this painting, Kissa Kursika. On Duty titled. In My Dreams. This is again Silent Prayers. The Kinship, Illusions, it's on Deep Thoughts. This work was done for Smile Foundation. This is Waiting. This is now my new series which I'll exhibit now in this coming year. Let Me Be Free. The Binding Threads. Seeing Beyond, My Outlook, these experiences of life, titled Innocence. These are my experiences. In My Dreams, soaring high through her vision. This is my new work. This is the quiet submission. This again, I'm working with the female form. My whole, if you find my series, you just go through it. You'll feel that most of the series is on the girl child or on the woman form. As being a woman, I feel deeply connected to the feelings that come across and the things that happen in a life, in a woman's life. And what I feel is that today's woman, even so much of advancement is there, everything is going on, but whenever a man, a boy wants to enjoy in life with woman as a partner, as a friend, but when he wants it to be his life partner, he wants that she should quietly just submit to her. She should not speak in front of her. And she should be just like whatever he says, yes sir. So this is a painting which I made into that. So that feeling came to my mind.
So bloody.
Not to him. It is not to him, but it is in general what I see around. He has been a really strength of mine. Not this, it's not only this. There are many more things. So,
And this is your drawing room?
yeah?
This is your house, drawing room?
No. This is my world actually.
Nice.
Sandeep. Sandeep.
Wait, please. When I started with the painting journey, I also started sculpting at the same time. And I really love to work in clay. And I also do watercolor sometimes, but this is a medium of clay which I experimented. And this is my first piece, which I started in 2005. Title Searching. The Blissful Family. I work only with emotions. When I work in clay, this is just mere feelings and emotions. This I worked on a Buddha form, which I just depicted in my own way. This is Buddha as a normal, what we feel today, and with Buddha before being Buddha, man and a woman on the other side. At peace title. This is Togetherness. Springing Romance title. This is the other side of that. Feelings. This I happened to went to a camp where I just saw a man. I was in Chandigarh at that time, Punjab Kala Bhavan there, and there was some program going on. And a man from Himachal, he was sitting with a child on his lap, and I really loved it, the way he was holding his child at that time. Different phases. Esoteric. I wanted to make a female form with a different head, just wanted to express with a different head because of machines and all which are actually exploiting us, we are thinking very differently right now, so this was just an experiment on that. It's titled Compassion. Esoteric Free. This is titled Expansion. exhibition, one of my new work. Balancing. In my dreams. Feeling the freedom. Flight of thoughts. In conversation pattern. This I worked on a series titled The Phoenix Woman, and this was one of the sculptures which I worked on, and name of my recent show which I had in 2014, The Phoenix Woman, Rising from Ashes, Reaching the Sky. Praising the Divine. This is from my earlier work, and this work was quite appreciated at that time. Thanking God.
This one is with the Vice President of India.
The best perch. Together we can win. The family bonding. This is again on the girl child searching for home. Here I made two boys, and when it comes to a girl, if you have two boys, you feel your family complete. But if you have two girls, you would like to have another child. So this is actually on that. Graceful Stripes title. Joy of life. The jump. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed looking at it.
Yes.
The CEO works at the Delhi, house in Delhi. There's a small gallery.
Fantastic.
Got involved in 2010, 2011. My daughter Anita went to Bangalore with a few friends of hers. Really what had happened was that a few of the people we knew in the US from the Austin area who had made some money with startups and so on were basically retiring in India, and they wanted to see if they could help schools work in the education area. And we had all worked with Pratham and raised money for Pratham and so on, but they actually wanted to do things on the ground, so they went to schools and so on. And a lot of these kids at the time, they were like 10, 11, 12, 14, 15 years old. They kind of started to raise some money, you know, they have birthday parties, they said, don't give us presents, or during our engagements or something, don't give us presents. And they'll take the money and they'll basically give it to Pratham. So Pratham was a non-for-profit in the US. And they use that money to basically work with Rotary Club and using some things like multiplying, right? If I give money to Pratham, G would match it. So, you know, taking X number of dollars, they were able to convert it to 3 times, 4 times, 5 times as much, and they helped some schools and so on. So, you know, Anita was involved with that, and so she went to Bangalore 2 summers in a row, and really for the kids it was a great visit. They got to see schools and so on. And I asked my friends who were doing this, because they were all from the Bangalore area, could I do something similar in Hyderabad? Because my parents are in Hyderabad, and I thought I had some connections there. So they said, yeah, go ahead and try to find some schools. So when my son wanted to do something similar, he actually went to Bangalore in 2014 or 2013, something like that. So we said, why don't we find somebody who does something similar in Hyderabad? So I reached out and I tried to find some contacts, and I ran into this guy called Vamsi Macharaju. He had actually been an IT professional in the US, and he had come back to India. He was actually very inspired by Barack Obama. In 2008, he had campaigned for Barack Obama, and he had seen what he did, what he had done as a community activist, community organizer. So he decided to become a community organizer in India. And he came back to India in 2014, and he set up what's called as Organizing for the Future. In Telugu, it's called as Manakosam Marku, which is change for ourselves. And so his goal was basically to focus on women and children. He put his daughter into the local government school, which I think is pretty revolutionary, because he figured if I want to make change, I want to start from inside. And he also identified that a lot of women were dropping out of schools, right? They were in 9th grade, 10th grade. If they didn't do well, parents wanted them to get married, they would take them out, and essentially these women then had no source of income. They would often have children when they were 18, 19 years old. We're just trying to see what we can do to try to help them by creating employment. So there's something called as National Institute for Rural Development in the Hyderabad area. He's just tried to tie up with them. But even before that, these are some areas. There are about 20 areas where the government, as Sunil was saying, the government has got all kinds of money. They've got all kinds of resources. The problem is connecting that with people on the ground is where you need people actually who are involved. And so he started doing the first three, which is teaching people tailoring and so on, handicrafts and jute bag design. And that's when I got in touch with him. And he was just looking for some seed funding, and I just wrote him some checks, and I got some of my friends to write some checks as well. So along with training people, he was also trying to teach them personal skills. Opening bank accounts, that's a big deal. We know that the government says you can create the zero rupee accounts, but if you actually go to a bank, many of the bank managers don't help them open accounts at all. So teaching people financial skills, confidence, opening a bank account, able to go try to network is as important as teaching them skills. Also teaching people how to organize. In the US, right, a lot of us are used to going to a school board and challenging what our schools do. Here, when somebody goes to a government school, it's pretty hard to get through because there's this whole big power divide. The teacher and the principal thinks they know what they do. They don't often come to school. And he found this out because his daughter used to go to a government school. So teaching people that actually they are the ones who should be challenging the system, that's also part of it. So just that part of trying to organize yourself, that's all part of community organizing. So using some of the monies we had raised locally as well as from some other folks, he's had several programs. He started up with the Usha sewing company, so teaching people skills, bought some machines, jute making machines, and trained several women. And so now we are at a point where there's actually multiple centers in the Secunderabad area, what's called as Kapra is area in Secunderabad where he's focused on. A lot of these women, they come from all religions. I mean, I've gone to some programs, actually I don't have photographs on that, but just last week, Pankaj Sethi, which some of you guys might know, some guys from GE who work with me and my daughter, we all went there, and it was a diverse audience, a room about this big. Most of them were sitting on the floor, we were sitting on chairs, but if you listen to them, they were articulate, they were confident young women who were demanding to do things, and they were asking for a helping hand for them to do more, right? So, so we've done various training workshops, and the real goal I think right now is, can you try to move away from folks, because it's not going to be that easy to get jobs for a lot of these people, but if they could actually avail of a lot of these opportunities that the government is trying to give them, what can we do for them? So just wanted to bring this to your notice, and these are some of the products that they created. In fact, I'm going to take two suitcases back with me. We're going to try to sell it in the Houston area where I live and other areas, and the money all goes back to them. But really, they're already talking to several local companies, Tech Mahindra, Wipro and so on, because they make backpacks and so on, and really very, very, I would say very, very cost effective. And there's other products too. I really don't want to talk too much about that, but they have trained people to do this, and these are some of the areas they want to get into. One area that Vamsi is trying to get into is this female hygiene products, sanitary napkins. As you know, there was somebody in the Coimbatore area who had done a TED talk about how for a lot of women this is too expensive a product. They often have to prioritize food or personal hygiene products. So he's actually got a plan to train people and create these and try to sell this using his local network, right? This is not necessarily going through a big retail chains with the profit margins that they will ask for demand and try to do that. Again, I'm not sure. He's got a sustainable model that he's talking about it. And I asked him how much it cost to do that, and he said 3 to 4 lakhs. So my daughter said she was going to create a GoFundMe page and try to do what she can to raise money. Right, so these are very, very small projects that I think have a lot of opportunity. And again, as I said, part of his goal is trying to create a state level, parent teachers association. I know he's hit up on all the MPs. Jay Prakash Narayan, who's the Lok Satta person, is working with him now, right? And again, trying to see how we can get people involved and actually train more people to take a lead on things. So I asked him just before I came here, I told him I'm going to go to my class reunion and I want to bring this to the attention of people, right? Already I got Pankaj Sethi involved in this, so that's a big, big plus for me because he's locally on the ground. And earlier this year when I tried to get Pankaj involved, he had some health issues, he didn't want to get involved, but now he seems to be all in. So he gave me an estimate of what he needs, right? And it's about 16 lakh rupees. And in the US, I've already raised money about 12 or 13,000 right now over the last year or so. We're just trying to figure out how to get the money to him because of the FCRA certifications that we need to do it. We seem to be very close. But anything we can do to help these guys, I just want to bring it to your attention. I'll probably put it on the WhatsApp group. And I asked him to just say what he's going to do with the money and some details. So they got 8G certifications. So they are, if you give them a contribution, it'll be tax deductible, all their expenses and everything else is online and it's available. He's given me his details on Facebook and so on. So, and for those who in the US, as I said, I've got this organization called Pragati, and that is an 501c corporation in the US. So if you give money there, we can certainly help these folks with that. So happy to take your questions if you have any questions on that. Otherwise, I'll hand over the mic to somebody else.
Questions later.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks. We have another interesting group working in IIT Kanpur, which is called the Rural Technology Action Group. Some interesting projects that they have done. Sandeep, just read them along. Go ahead.
So here I just want to talk to you. I don't have any PPT to show. Everybody can hear me? Yeah. So this is called Rural Technology Action Group. This is a project in IIT Kanpur which is funded by DST. Idea here is to look at what problems that are there in the rural areas regarding technology. It could be, doing a certain kind of a job easier with technology, more efficiency, or changing a technology which is already being used and incremental change in that. So these are very small projects. Typical cost of a project is about 3 lakhs. And the way it works, I'll give you a few examples through which I'll explain. So for example, and in fact I should say Rita here, she is the consultant for this project and she coordinates this project here. as an example, an NGO came to this group, and they work with horses. And they, one of the problems with the horses which are being used for carrying goods in the cities or in the rural areas is that the horseshoes that are put on those horses have a very short life. By very short life means 6 or 7 days. So every 6 or 7 days, this guy goes to a farrier and has to put a new set of shoes on the horses. This is bad from the animal perspective, it's bad for the health of the animal. At the same time, it is also that he loses that day's wages as well. So this is a project which is actually very, one would say it's a trivial metallurgical problem. But one of the issues was that the blacksmith who makes the horseshoe, he should be able to make it. Otherwise, there are solutions. You can easily get some industry to manufacture whatever number of horseshoes that are required for the required strength and the resistance so that it lasts for a longer time. So with this set of objectives, we started working on it, and we in fact increased the life of the horseshoe by changing small tinkering with the process that he was using, small change in the material that is easily available. We changed the life from 6 or 7 days to about a month. And one does not want more than a month simply because the hoof grows. In any way, after a month, the horseshoe would have to be replaced because the hoof has to be trimmed. So this is the kind of project. Another project that in this group that people have worked on is a solar thermal dryer, and this is for drying fruits and vegetables. It started out with a problem that came from Pratapgarh, where there's a lot of amla that is produced, and they do a lot of amla processing. These are small processors in the villages who make your amla murabba, etc. So there's a product called amla candy, which needs to be dried. Now there are these small processors which do open air sun drying. There are some large processors who use electric dryers to dry. So we built this solar thermal dryer, which uses no electricity. It does not use any PV as well. It uses basically, there's a thermal collector, it heats up the air goes into the chamber, etc. And then we put an interesting gadget into this, that one day we looked at these factory sheds. These factory sheds have these turbo ventilators which are wind powered. So we just took one of them, and that is used as a suction for the air to flow through. Similarly, people have built in this group shredding of amla, to grating of amla, not rather shredding. One of the products require amlas to be grated, and it's a very simple design that the students build, very beautifully done. And there are so many other projects in this. Now the one basic issue that we face here, partly also due to sitting in Kanpur, but even though one has to look, we require good quality fabricators. So the RUTAG is willing to give the technology to these fabricators. They can fabricate and then sell, because IT cannot do that. So we are not equipped to be able to produce, but we would produce a final prototype, and this final prototype has to go into production. So fabricators, so this is where maybe perhaps some of you can help RUTAG to look for us some good fabricators. In fact, and even some companies can spend their CSR funds on this. For example, this final prototype of the solar dryer was built by a company here in Kanpur, and it spent its CSR funds to do that for us. So that is it.
Anybody else wants to?
some of us are keen to meet Ganesh Bagaria here in Coffee Home. So I just had a word with Ganesh Bagaria. He has just arrived in Kanpur, and in around 2 hours he will be here. So maybe what we can do is before dinner, around 8 o'clock, we can meet, we can get together those who are interested in VH dining area and talk to them. Another thing, he has given an offer that tomorrow breakfast or lunch, आप में से जो भी लोग जो है उसमें आप breakfast lunch के चल सके, तो that offer he has given. तो बिल्कुल उससे थोड़ा सा पहले.
यहाँ से करीब 6-7 किलोमीटर है. It takes 10 minutes, 15 minutes drive.
In fact, एक alternative ये था, बगारिया has come to Kanpur, वो यहाँ पे आ रहा है, तो सवेरे जाएंगे. If somebody को 8 बजे dinner है, there's no need to be 8 o'clock. You might go there also today. Yeah, take a look. That is better.
We can go right now.
We will go right now.
अगर आप लोग आज फिर से
सवेरे को बस में जाना है ना,
बट प्री डिनर हमें कुछ लोग अगर वहाँ जाना चाहें.
बगैर बात कर लेते हैं. अभी इस देर
वो अभी स्टेशन से भी थोड़ी देर.
नहीं ये डिटेल इनकमिंग हियर. फिर मॉर्निंग में जाने if you want to see his place, you can go there also.
It's not a good idea. They are saying that it's not a good idea to go in the night because it's a village, it's very dark. So I think mornings are better.
नहीं बिल्कुल करा देंगे, चिंता ना करिए.
बस नहीं जा पाएगी. बस नहीं जा पाएगी.
बस से बाहर चलिए आज
वो फिर आपको थोड़ा वॉक करना पड़ेगा.
तो मैं गाड़ी अरेंज कर दूंगा. बहुत टाइम लगेगा गाड़ी दे. If you want to go, I don't know. मैं तो जानता हूँ. Want to go? You can do. Yeah, what's the plan?
So tomorrow was a meeting.
आज करना है.
That is what
reached. It's important that we start discovering what is the purpose of life. And first thing is to know who I am. So if I say I'm just the body, I'm also the mind, also the intellect and the spirit. One very important learning which comes from here is what is in my total composition, how much body, how much mind, how much intellect, how much soul. So this is something which J.R.O. discusses, the eminent philosopher J.R.O. in Mumbai, and she has a book called Beyond Harvard. So all the things I discuss is in the journey, but acquired from here and there. Very interesting. She says we are 1% body, 3% mind, 6% intellect and 90% soul. Now this gives us a very important clue how we are apportioning the resources, time and energy in our life. This is, I think at this stage in life, this is something which we must start looking and questioning. Because if we put all our energy in body worship, things will go totally haywire. No? All the things we acquire, they are like zeros. If I can become the one, then the zeros will have value. Okay. The second thing is what is success in life. So I feel that if my being itself is source of happiness to people around me, then I am successful. So the key is being happy. So how do I get happy? So for happy, our Shastras talk of, they talk of energy levels being high. How? They talk of being sattvic. So there is this, we are sad if the energy levels are low. So they talk of sattva, rajas and tamas. So this is a very interesting thing, sattva, rajas and tamas. What I am trying to say is all these are basically there in our literature, but we have not really been taught about it. Even IIT or nowhere they tell us. So the simple thing is to be happy, keep the sattva high, to be active, keep the rajas high, and to sleep we need the tamas also there. Now, there are three kinds of people also. The tamasic people have no goal in life, they are just parting, directionless. The rajasic people, they'll do anything you want, but they want a share. Basically, there's a greed there, and it leads to mediocrity. The sattvic people, they are unselfish, and it ultimately leads to perfection. So we have to identify what kind of person we are, and accordingly, we should have our company. The tamasic people, they need danda all the time, they need deadlines, otherwise they become inactive. The rajasic needs incentives and rewards. The sattvic just wants freedom to work. So it's a question of understanding the people around us. Anyway, this is one. Another very interesting thing, that when we talk of energy, Most of us.
So you can be taking this subject to WhatsApp, then you can debate this with you.
Sure. Yeah, we do that. Another very interesting thing. When we see what is it that drives us, so it's the energy which drives us. Now, where do I get my energy? So energy comes from 4 sources: foods, thoughts, rest and breath. Most of us, we are stuck up with just the food part. Energy also comes from these 3. And even a lizard knows that the energy comes from these 4 sources. But in the winter, it doesn't eat anything. It just hibernates, works on the rest and the breath, maybe the thoughts, and it's able to survive. This is very important. Even the Jain Munis, after sunset, they don't eat anything. So the phase of life which we are entering, I think it's very important to understand that there are these 4 sources of life and we can switch these sources. That's a very important art which we can learn. So and when we look at these 4 sources, it talks of these 5 elements which compose these 4 sources. Now what is very interesting is, the air element we get from the green leafy vegetables, the fire element we get from the fruits which ripen in the sunlight, water element we get from जो बेल पे लगने वाली सब्जियां, earth element we get from cereals, vegetables, all these things, cereals and pulses and roots. Where do we get the ether element from? And where is the ether element in my body? That's a very important thing, which is again a discovery, which I learned quite late in life, but I've been using these things. Last 22 years, I have not taken any allopathic medicine whatsoever. By just working on these elements, and that's where naturopathy comes. In fact, Gandhiji used these 5 elements. He added the 6th element, that was Ram Nam, to this. So basically the ether element is like when you look at the atom. In the atom there's neutron, proton, there's electron which is vibrating. So ether element is basically spandan. We get it from the vibration, from the mantras, from the jap and from fasting. So this is a very significant finding which I think can help us a lot in looking at our own lives, how we are sourcing the various elements. Now what naturopathy says is 4 of these elements are alkaline and only the earth element is acidic. So my food also should be 80% alkaline and 20% acidic. This is what has helped me to stay away from medicine. And what we can do is 80% can be fruit, vegetables, sprouts and nuts. Now this change if we can make in our lives, it will do a significant difference in us. So 80% food should be just this and 20% can be the other things. Also our breakfast should be king size, lunch should be queen size and dinner should be frugal. So 20% can be other things. So this is a very significant thing. If we can implement it in life, it can totally change our lives. These 4 poisons, if we can avoid white poisons, white flour, the refined sugar, the salt and hydrogenated oil. You can have the rock salt we can take good jaggery and all those things, and whole wheat we can take, so and ghee. Okay. Another thing is, whatever our body size was at the age of 25, all the organ specifications were fixed at that age. After that, whatever we have gained is extra. So there should be an initiative to go back to the shape of our body at the age of 25. I have not done it, but that is required. Now, one very interesting part about our nature, in the Ayurveda, just by seeing the pulse, the nadi pariksha, they can tell we are kapha, vata or pitta. We are doing so much on allopathy, but we are forgetting our basic root, the kapha, vata and pitta, which a very good nadi pariksha fellow can tell. Just by this you can know what is good for you to eat, what is not good for you. So just by doing that, it can make a difference in your life. And that's what Ayurveda says. I have been Dr. Ayurveda in Haryana. Ayurveda says, Bhojanam Khalu Oshdam. Food is the medicine. So we are not taking care of our food. We are eating wrong food and then getting sick. And then the allopaths, allopathic science was made in winter environment. In winter, Ayurveda also says you eat anything, it will be digested. But that's why it misfires. So if we can look at what we are eating and go to a nadi fellow, check what is good for us, what is not good for us, and adjust our diet accordingly, we can make a lot of difference in improving longevity and quality of life. So that's what I wanted just to share this thing with you. So another thing is that we talked of food, thought is the other source of energy, but when you go to sleep in the night, so thoughts continue moving, So it's very important that what you are doing, what you are thinking all the time. So thought is something very, very important on which we should work. And yeah, more than thought, the feelings we should work on. So anyway, these are 4 sources of energy we should be working. It's very important to have secret shifters in life. Just keep things close to you so that your feeling is good all the time. If our thoughts, the feelings are good, our life will go smoothly. It's very important to all the time have good feeling, good factor in life. So that's the rest. Of course, I have talked about another source of energy. Some very good book, Apprentice to the Himalayan Masters by Sri M. If you can get this book, read this, it will help you. And autobiography of yoga. So all these things, when you go to sleep, before you sleep, read something good. It will really, really help you. Thank you so much.
I hope you have imbibed all he has said. I think we start a discussion. Just one. He has to join the discussion. He will. Include him as a yes.
You have to join the discussion now. As participate in it because it is going to be vitriolic.
Last, this final 2 minutes, there's a person from a startup at the city at an incubator, just wants 2 minutes. Startup at the business incubator at IIT.
Good evening, everyone. So it's a great opportunity to meet you all here today. So I am a student of design program here in IIT Kanpur, and we have a startup incubated in Sidbi Incubation Center of IIT Kanpur. So we have developed a product about which I would like to just explain for 2 minutes. So we are a startup named ProSoc Innovators. ProSoc stands for Products for Society. We are a for-profit social enterprise, and we are trying to develop some products which can change the life of people in bottom-of pyramid. So we have been mentored by 83 as well as 87 batch of IIT Kanpur alumni. So so this is the product I wanted to talk about today. Yeah. So can you all hear me? Yeah, this is a product named Desk Kit, which is a normal school bag we have developed for underprivileged students. So even today throughout India, there are more than 3 crore students who don't have basic infrastructure facilities in school. So they sit on the floor with no, chair or table to write on. So we have a desk kit which has a small table. So it just opens up like this. And the kids sitting on ground, they have a platform to write on, a button. So as per their requirement, they can set the height of the table. So if the kid is of small height, they'll use a small table. And if their height is more, they can use a bigger table. And all their belongings are here, inside the bag. And here are their pen, pencil and everything. So if they want to detach it, if not required, they can even detach. So this, we have developed it over the last 1 year, taken major feedback from students. And now on November 14th this year, on Children's Day, we have launched this product and trying to reach out to many students across India. So but here the problem is affordability. Their parents' economic status is not that good that they can buy this desk kit for their kids. So what we are doing now, we are going for CSR contributions or else some donations for desk kit, or else maybe for advertisement through companies. So I just wanted to ask you, can you please connect us to some, since it's a startup which is based from IIT Kanpur, and we are trying to reach out to needy students. If you would like to help us through any means possible, that was my request. One desk kit costs 400 rupees including taxes. So this 400 rupees for parents of the students that we are targeting, it's not affordable right now.
Yeah, so have you started manufacturing them?
Yeah, we have started manufacturing them. So it's getting manufactured in Kanpur, Dadanagar industrial area.
I have a question. You are a for-profit, right?
Yeah, we are a for-profit.
Now, how can you ask CSR funding to be given to a for-profit
So like we have our NGO partners. Since we are a startup, we can't go to remote areas and distribute desk kits. So we have tie-ups with many NGOs which will be acting as a distribution channel. So through that channel, we are asking CSR funds.
Who is advising, do you in your team have somebody who is advising on a financial model that can take you forward for the next 3 or 5 years?
Yeah.
Apart from students.
Yeah. So Shirish Joshi sir from 87 batch, he is our mentor. So he has been 87. 83 Rahul Swarup sir is our mentor. Rahul Swarup. So through private.
Shirish Joshi is the Airtel guy now in Godrej?
No, he is now in Godrej.
You made a presentation in education department? You made a presentation in education department?
No, we have just talked to UP government.
UP government distributes bags to all the students. So it would be nice to make a presentation in the education department. You are cousin that. There is your bags to all the.
Can you pass on this kit here?
Yes, sure.
Chaliye, theek. So, I think that is a good idea. I will not order that. I'll tell you. I will contact the education department. I will ensure that coordination. Pardon? Okay, we go back for this team visitors hostel, and then you are free again. After 8, we'll gather again. There's a tent next to the BH, और वो आग वाग का भी इंतजाम कर दिया गया है. आग और
That guy was really good.
तो अफ्रीका का प्लान बताओ. जून में से वो सेटल हो गया कि
पूरा मूवी का. Explain what Ashutosh does. To Ashutosh, and Ashutosh said, "Is that what I do?" And Ashutosh almost started asking him questions. He was worried. Then he would have said, "कि मेरा graduate student है."
ये क्या stupid question है?
अभी देखो वहाँ पर एक गुजराती और जो मुसलमान है जिसका स्टील इंडस्ट्री नहीं तो मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम इंडियंस हैव बीन शॉपकीपर्स बस इंपोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट हाँ इंपोर्ट चाइना से माल हुआ है दुकानों में बेचा और माय लोड मेरा कस्टमर वहाँ पे शुगर फैक्ट्री लगाई है मतलब हाँ वो तुम्हारा हैदराबाद टाइप का होगा कोई अहमदाबाद पटेल ग्रुप है
बुसिया करके वो जाम्बिया में नहीं है बट सब नेबरिंग करते हैं.
But alcohol has got very good market there. Andhra के
alcohol has a bad market where?
हाँ ये बताओ.
बिहार गुजरात गुजरात में hardly anyone has been coming to office. So technically speaking, we only had the weekend as the holiday. But no one in the US was working. कई बैठते हैं हाँ पहचाने अच्छा
वहाँ पे यहाँ से जाने से जस्ट पहले सीखता था फिर जब मैं वहाँ चला गया तो स्काइप पर 5 PM 5 AM your new mom क्या गाती हो I heard about क्या
We were classmates.
अच्छा किससे
मिर्जा सर करके
कब से सीख रही हो इनके
मैंने बनवाया
आपसे मिले थे हैदराबाद में
इनसे मिलने की मैंने अभी तक बहुत इच्छा थी कि
आई भी लगा है
पूरा कागज था ये मन मेरा लिख लिया नाम इसे तेरा सुना आंगन था जीवन मेरा बस गया प्यार इसमें तेरा
अरे क्या बात है दोनों की क्या बात है
पहली बार मुझे किसी प्रोफेसर ने हक किया है Best day of my life
ये तो है ही है आपकी भी पहचान हो गई
बागों में फूलों के दिल में सहेले बागों में फूलों के दिल से पहले
arrest you or I don't know weird thing. No, I mean, it's not incidents at all.
रसीद दिखा रही है बोला कि प्री रिसीटेड बुक अब आपने उसको करना है, उसमें नाम आप जितने मर्जी ले लो, तो जो भैया ऊपर है बोला जमा कर दिया उसमें नाम भर दिए सारे 2 लाख के, 2 लाख जिसके उसने रसीद काटी उसको थोड़ा दी रसीद, नाम भर दिया बस।
किया है कि सारे झगड़े अगर मेरे जीने के हैं तो ये गला घोट दे। महीने में 12 तरीके से तुझको प्यार जताऊंगा तू डिजाइनर यूं बीट चढ़े या कोई क्योंकि बेबी को बेस पसंद है बेबी को बेस पसंद है सब नाचे मुझको सका बेस पसंद है बेबी को बेस पसंद है स्पीकर का वॉल्यूम उसको तेज पसंद है बेबी को बेस 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 पसंद है
The song should be continuous, yeah. Come on,
song's done, we're all done now.
थोड़ा बेस बढ़ा, थोड़ा बढ़ा दो सर।
Nice song, come on, dance.
वे मेरे हिल पे होने लैंड
Now Chori wanted to dance, but Chora wanted romance. So Chora polish DJ tech he's not taking a chance. दोनों हाथ हवा में करके नाचे Chori बड़ी सी modern baby से जो पिंगा लेगा हो जाएगी problem. Chori किस है fire है सब लड़कों की desire है यो चलता फिरता पैसन सो baby बिजली की नंगी fire है पागल हो गया तेरे पीछे दिल मेरा तेरी लगे नीचे टक बजती जो डांस फ्लोर पे अब तू नाचे स्पीकर का वॉल्यूम उसको तेज पसंद है बेबी को बेस पसंद है वो बेबी को बेस पसंद है जब वो नाचे मुझे बोस का बेस पसंद है बेबी को बेस पसंद है बेबी को बेस पसंद है